this Shabbos marks 25 years. 25 years since the Gimel Tammuz, since the Hilula and the Yahrzeit of Lubavitcher Rebbe, Zechuto Yagen Aleinu. There's so much to share about the Rebbe. He was a realist, but he insisted on using language to express positive thinking and optimism rather than negative. For example, he never used the traditional Hebrew word for hospital, Bet Cholim, which literally means a house of sick people. What did he call it? He called it a Bet Refuah, a house of healing. Why? Because he wanted people who were in that hospital to know that they were there to gain greater health, and not because they were so sick. He wanted to focus on the solution rather than the problem. When he visited, for example, the handicapped soldiers who had been wounded in the wars of Israel, he refused to call them Nechei Tzahal, handicapped, but rather the word Mitsuyanim, exceptional. He told them that if a person has been deprived of a limb, this shows that God has also given him special powers to overcome his limitations. That you are not disabled, but rather special and unique, and that you possess potential that the rest of us do not possess. For example, when there was pressure to finish a project, he never refers to the finishing time as a deadline. He didn't like that word. Rather, instead, he used the word due date. Deadline is the idea of death, while due is the idea of birth. A businessman once came to the Rebbe to give the Rebbe some nachas. And he said to the Rebbe that he arranged a minyan for Rosh Hashanah for people with no Jewish background. No Jewish background? Asked the Rebbe. Tell them that they have a real background, that they're from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Royalty. Once in 1961, a wealthy person pledged to the Rebbe, a lot of money in those days, $100,000 for his activities. The Rebbe asked, "And what will you give me? What are you going to give me as a gift?" He answered, "Whatever amount of money the Rebbe asked for, I will give. Tell me the number." The Rebbe responded, "The next time you come for an appointment, bring to me 10,000 pages of Talmud that you learned. That'll be my gift." As we know, the Rebbe predicted the end of every war in Israel. He said that there would be great miracles, and we saw great miracles. Just before the Six-Day War, he started the famous Tefillin campaign as a way to protect our brothers and sisters in Israel. We saw the miracles of the Gulf War. We saw with many foreigners actually who left Israel, and the Rebbe said, "No, it's not a time to. It's a time to go to Israel rather and not to leave." We saw how safe it was at that time. The Rebbe said, "Mashiach is very near. May we all do our part. One more mitzvah in goodness and kindness, and may we see very soon in our days the coming of Mashiach. Amen." Good Shabbos.